How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, we have a brand new Pokemon Switch Rumors type of video to talk about. Today, we're actually taking a look at an article here from NintendoLife.com. Huge shout out to these guys. They actually ended up doing a little bit of a compilation sort of guide of all the things we know so far in terms of rumors about Pokemon Switch and some tiny itsy bits of information we already heard. And I thought we'd take a look at this and kind of compile all of this that we already know so far in terms of rumors and see, you know, what they say here. Give my own opinions, add in, you know, parts which we've heard about in different areas and connect things, and I thought we'd do that, guys. By the way, if you don't want to read, you know, listen to me, if you want to read it on your own, I'm going to link Nintendo Life's article down below in the description. You'll always be able to find all the sources down below so you guys can check them out, so go there and check that out, guys. Either way, let's get started here. Shout out to Glenn Fox for making this article. So let's see, guide, Pokemon Switch rumors, release date, news, and everything else we know so far. So, if there's one thing we know for sure about Pokemon on the Switch, it's definitely happening. In fact, the Pokemon Company already announced it back in 2017. We were already aware of this, that's why we've been talking about it so much. The initial rumors predicted it would be Pokemon Stars. Now, this is something we already talked about in the past. There was specifically something, I can't remember exactly which website, I think it was Eurogamer, that specifically talked about Pokemon Stars being, you know, Pokemon Sun and Moon on the Nintendo Switch, but that didn't end up happening. But there are rumors saying that essentially that thing that they saw on the Nintendo Switch was Sun and Moon, but it was simply a tech demo trying out the Sun and Moon engine on the Nintendo Switch to see if it would work there. So maybe somebody has seen that tech demo footage of the Pokemon, you know, Sun and Moon games on the Switch, and then been like, okay, this is going to be the next Pokemon game, it's going to be on the Switch. They just saw a little bit of gameplay, you know, a prototype, so to say. And this also would fit in with that image, which we'll talk about a bit further down here, this image. It'll also fit in with this image, which we'll get to eventually. So, let's continue. The initial rumors predicted it would be Pokemon Stars, an ultimate version of Pokemon Sun and Moon. The subsequent launch of Ultra Sun and Moon on the 3DS, combined with comments made by the Pokemon Company, have resulted in a move away from that rumor. Here we're going to round up everything we know about the elusive Pokemon Switch in one place to whet your appetites. We'll keep this updated as we learn more, so it might be worth bookmarking so you don't miss anything. So they've been updating this article over time. I'm actually not sure when they last updated, but I found this article earlier this morning, specifically wanted to look through it, what it had to say and stuff. So, you know, I don't know how far they've updated it or when it was recently updated, but it's been out for a while now. So, Pokemon Switch will mark the start of Generation 8. Now, this is something we already pretty much are aware of. I mean, most likely the next game will be Generation 8, but that doesn't mean it's going to be Generation 8 maybe, you know, in the way we think about it, right? Because if they want to shake things up slightly, or, you know, be a bit disruptive in the way they do things, they could change their formula of releasing the games and how they work, generations work, and all that stuff at any time. They could give us a reboot, but it could still be Generation 8 with brand new Pokemon where we're back in Kanto, or they can give us literally like 2 regions in one, or anything is possible. In all honesty, anything is possible, but even if it is Generation 8, which it most likely is, let's be honest here, even if it is Generation 8, it doesn't mean it's going to be the way we're used to generations. It could be done in a different way. Still Pokemon, still, you know, the way we know how it works and that sort of stuff, but done in a different way from what we're used to in terms of, like, you know, like, in terms of formula, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm thinking about. So, they mentioned the Nintendo magazine, which I'm going to point out, that magazine was confirmed, and I want to point this out so anybody knows. I've already mentioned this in previous videos twice already, but I want to point out again, that Nintendo article that was written, those guys have been false in the past as well. They said there's going to be a portal in Ultra Sun and Moon that will take you to Sinnoh, which never happened, that was BS. So, just want to point out that that is false. The Nintendo magazine is false. So that means essentially the whole Generation 8 guaranteed thing is not confirmed. I mean, I'm assuming most likely it's going to be Generation 8, but it could also still be a reboot, remake, anything is possible, right? But either way, we're moving into like the next generation of Pokemon, so it is Gen 8 per logic, right? It will be logically Generation 8, not Generation 7, because, you know, that's on the previous gen and, you know, previous consoles, let us say, so we're done with that. Now we're moving to a different console, so Generation 8 would be the next thing to continue with. That doesn't, you know, mean that we're instantly going to get a brand new giant region with, you know, tons of things included. Doesn't mean that's going to happen, but it most likely is the way they would want to go. Either way, they just, you know, talk about that a little bit here. That pretty much confirms that it's a brand new entry, given how each of them have introduced a new generation in the mix so far. What I also suggest is that we'll visit a brand new region, too. Again, each new entry in the Pokemon games has so far introduced a new region alongside a new generation. So, yes, that is very true. Then again, that could change at any time, right? If a brand new generation comes out, it most likely, I mean, again, keep in mind, guys, listen to me right now when I say this, right? This is most likely going to be, like, you know, Gen 8, the next game we get on the Pokemon Switch. It's going to be Generation 8 with a brand new region and that sort of stuff. Most likely, I mean, that's what I'm assuming, based on the fact that, like, why would they do something else? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a safe bet making a brand new generation. But at the same time, a lot of things that we've seen in terms of rumors have been pointing towards something being like a reboot of Kanto, which is also possible, but it's like Generation 8 would make a lot of sense, and that's what I feel like is the right path to go with, but again, I don't know. Either way, so, Pokemon Switch will feature new mechanics. Well, we're already aware that most likely they're going to do something new in terms of mechanics, just as long as they don't do gimmicky stuff, like Z-moves, just gimmicky, the whole kahunas, literally just like, it's just worse gyms. So like, you know what I mean, if you don't want to have gyms, guys, I know some people said like, they didn't want to see gyms, some said they want to see gyms, I want to see gyms back, but I want to see like, you know, just up the level of gyms, make them more, you know, challenging and stuff, that's all I want to see, like, make them more challenging, more fun to actually, you know, take on, you know what I mean, like, make them like, I don't know, just like, you know, take it on a freaking raid in World of Warcraft, you know what I mean? Make them more fun and challenging, enjoyable, and give us a bigger reward for defeating a gym than just like a badge or whatever, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that has to happen. I'll still play Pokemon no matter what. I love the franchise. I played every single game of Pokemon, so I will play that as well. But either way, so, also revealed in this issue of Nintendo Magazine is that Pokemon Switch will feature all new mechanics. The Pokemon Company confirms that it is rethinking the series entirely to provide new ways to play. That's all we know at the factual level, but our brains are already wearing at possibilities. This will be the Breath of the Wild, the Pokemon's Breath of the Wild. We can only hope. Well, here's the thing, right? They're mentioning here from that article. Now, that article, well, it's a bit whimsy there, you know, how they actually work, and if, you know, like, they're actually saying anything true there, but it is true, though, coming from Reggie Fils-Aimé, as you guys may know, I talked about this, yesterday, I think, where he just literally pointed out that, yeah, we're just gonna, you know, do the classic, you know, the traditional Pokemon, like, find, battle, trained kind of, you know, logic behind it. I mean, it's just, Pokemon is going to be Pokemon forever. There's never going to be a change in, like, you know, drastic change, like, I think one of the commenters said, oh, what if they remove Pokeballs? No, that's never going to happen. They're always going to keep Pokeballs. That's just illogical. It wouldn't work, you know, make any sense. But when, you know, they talk about changing mechanics, that could be anything from, like, how sprinting works, or how you, you know, how you get rid, you know, for example, HMs. They removed HMs and added in, like, Pokeride and that sort of stuff, right? That's kind of mechanics that they're referring to, stuff like that. I mean, the battle system, which a lot of people were, like, really, like, confused and kind of angry at me last night, telling me essentially that, like, my idea of a new battle system was weird. All I'm saying is, and all I was saying yesterday is, like, I just want to see some innovation there, or just speed it up a bit, right? Just make it so the battles aren't super slow and boring. Just, like, do something there that's kind of more innovative. Or, yeah, I mean, add some sort of animations that actually add value to the gameplay instead of just dragging out the battles. That's, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem with, like, Sun and Moon for me. It's just it's already slow in terms of cutscenes, and they're just making it slower, you know what I mean, by making the battles slow as well. So, all I was saying there is just, you know, adding, like, an, you know, battle mechanic that is more fun and enjoyable. Still keep the basic, you know, fight, run, bag, you know, etc., Pokemon, you know, all those things. Keep those the same, you know, as always, but improve upon those things. Try to innovate slightly. That's all I'm saying. I want to just point that out, because I know a lot of people are really angry at me about, like, my opinions on the fighting system, which I still love Pokemon. I still play it every day, but my point is, like, I wanted to innovate and, you know, improve it, not change it. They don't have to, you know, like, change or anything like that. They want to make it, you know, an action combat type of thing, or a real-time strategy thing. I love that, but all I'm saying is, just innovate on what you already have and improve it, is all. So, Pokemon Switch will most likely feature online. Well, multiplayer, well, this is kind of an obvious one. Pokemon always feels like it should be a true cooperative multiplayer experience, but it wasn't until Pokemon Go in 2016 that this side of the game started to bear fruit. The Switch online options, while admittedly not perfect, are far away from the best Nintendo's managed so far. That's something the Pokemon Company is well aware of, it seems. And it said the following quote in an interview of Bloomberg: "Until now, the games were made as one for one person, but now you can go home and play with everyone. So how do we tackle these themes, and how do we make sure it's not complicated? While that's not gold-plated proof the Pokemon Switch will feature multiplayer, it does suggest that some form of it will make it into the game." So, I will more look into this article. I'll look up where it was, you know, what they talked about in Bloomberg there, but this is very interesting, right? So, essentially, they're pointing out here that Pokemon has always been this game where, like, it's you and it's you in the game, right? In the past, we had the link cables and stuff, you know what I mean? Then we had the DS with, like, you know, connecting through, you know, Wi-Fi and, like, local, you know, play and stuff. And now, you know, with the 3DS, we had, like, you know, just the online features and stuff. Now with the Switch, I feel like, we're going to have online again. We're going to have paid online, right? So we're going to have that. I don't know if we're going to have Pokebank again, or like an alternative to Pokebank that maybe is free, considering we're going to be already paying for the online feature. So I'm just like considering what's going to happen there. But besides that, I want to just kind of point out this, like, multiplayer in Pokemon has always been very vague, right? I always wanted to see Pokemon where there's an option of me playing with a friend of mine outside in the world, where we can just jump into Pokemon together, and I can see him walking around, and we can just play together. Doesn't even have to be more than like 2-3 people. That's the limit, right? That's you just set it there. It'd be fun to have a cooperative experience where, like, oh, we run together, go into grass, we fight Pokemon together. I've seen this in fan games, for crying out loud, and it works in those games. So I'm sure it could work on a Pokemon, game on the Switch. It definitely could. I mean, the tools are there to make it. It shouldn't be like this grand task. But I'll look more into this article that they mentioned here from Bloomberg and see what they actually have to say there. If there is any valuable information, I will definitely share with you guys. But either way. So, this is generally just actual, like, not gold-plated proof, but it's just, like, tiny bits of information, and it's good to know that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak are looking into the possibilities of changing the multiplayer from just being this, like, Wi-Fi battle-esque type thing we have currently, but maybe moving it more into a cooperative area, which I would love to see. That would be awesome. Like, co-oping with a friend across the world, going on a Pokemon adventure together, like, all, like, Ash, Misty, Brock type style, That would be fantastic. Or like with a cousin or a friend or, sister, brother, whatever. Just sitting and playing together, like, it would be awesome. It would be literally amazing. So, I want to mention that. But either way, Pokemon Switch could return to Kanto region. So yes, we already talked about this a million times. I'm going to be very brief on this one. Though this runs counter to our first point, unless Pokemon Switch features all or returning regions alongside a new one, a leaked image did suggest a return to Kanto. It's very blurry, but below you can see it in all its glory. In the case you can't make it out, it's a trainer riding a Lapras through the what appears to be Route 21. However, this could be a completely different game, entirely from the Pokemon core Pokemon game that arrives on the Switch. Perhaps it is yet another remake of Pokemon Red and Blue, or maybe it's fake, you decide. Well, here's the thing, right? I thought about something about this, which I'm going to talk about in a future video again, because I want to kind of mention it, like, what if they're working on 2 games at the same time? Because keep in mind, like, Game Freak has a big studio, right? And they work with Creatures Inc. as well, and also you have the Pokemon Company, there as well. So there's a lot of employees, so it wouldn't surprise me if they have people working on different things at the same time. Or maybe they make bogus things up, maybe they just create some bogus prototypes just to, kind of suss out who is like a leaker and stuff just to get it out there, and maybe this is just a fake image they created themselves. I literally thought about this because I've seen this stuff in the past by some game companies where they've just made fake stuff themselves, put it out there so people will be like, oh, what is this? And then it'd be like, oh, this is, it's whatever. But then it turns out, there's a lot of sketchy stuff that can happen. But either way, that's just me conspiracy theorying right there. That's besides the point. But I'm actually thinking about this. Like, what if they're working on 2 games? What if, like, we have Pokemon Switch and then Pokemon Switch Red Blue and Red Blue Remake, or like Pokemon Kanto Return or whatever? Like, there is a possibility they're working on more than one game, which honestly, they would make a lot of sense, because the same time they were working on Black and White 2, they were also working on X and Y. So in all honesty, I see possibilities here. Just saying. Anything could be happening, but very unlikely though. Again, I don't know if this image is real. We've gone through it a million times. If you guys have any information about this image that is either going to prove it real or fake, honestly, just send it my way. I would love to check it out, guys. So you can always tweet it at me and I'll check it out. But either way, so let's continue down here. So Pokemon Switch could be Pokemon Stars. Now this is the part I want to talk about, because I mentioned earlier that somebody was claiming that the Pokemon that we've, like, essentially, this image right here, right, that this is simply a prototype, and this also fits in with, like, this right here, right, that we essentially had the Pokemon Company or Game Freak working on a prototype of Pokemon Sun and Moon onto the Switch just to try it out. Now, how that prototype looked like, we don't know. I was thinking that this is actually a prototype image. I was assuming this is a prototype image, but I don't know if that's actually a thing. Again, it's hard to distinguish all this stuff and, from what is real and what is fake and what could be possible and what could not be possible. So, keep in mind. So yes, Eurogamer claimed that the multiple sources had confirmed Pokemon Stars to them back in 2016, though they didn't cite any in particular. The sources claimed that the Pokemon Stars was the code name for this Pokemon Switch game, and that it would launch in 2017. Pokemon would be tradable between the 3DS and the Switch version of the game via an app named Pokebank. Okay, this is very interesting. The below image of HD Picky Peck was also Bandai'd about as an evidence for a while as well. Well, see, this doesn't make any sense, right? This image of, like, a Picky Peck, yeah, it's just a model being, like, worked on, but this just looks like a normal, like, HD version of, like, Piggyback that we already have in Sun and Moon. Because you gotta keep in mind, the Sun and Moon models that we have in-game, they're all, like, really high quality. The only problem is we're playing them on, like, you know, a really small screen. Like, I mean, look at this. This is a 2DS, right? This is a very small screen that we're playing with right here. Like, it's a low resolution. And even when you upscale it and stuff, you're still gonna have, like, a lot of loss in quality and stuff. So, in all honesty, that could just be, like, a normal Piggyback. I know this image is a very old one. A lot of people have talked about it. But, I guess it's kind of interesting to talk about, I guess. But either way, Pokemon Stars did materialize in 2017, though an enhanced version did arrive on 3DS in the form of Ultra Sun and Moon. That doesn't mean we still won't see Pokemon Stars on Switch. But if we do, it'll be an entirely separate from the core Pokemon RPG. Perhaps it's designed to bridge the gap. When will Pokemon Switch release? That's the million-dollar question. The Pokemon Company has stated on 2 different occasions that we'll see it in 2018 or later, which is an incredibly wide release timeline, rather. Hopefully that will be narrowed down around E3 2018. So I really hope we get some information either before E3 or during E3. I wouldn't like really have an issue with either one of them. If it happens during E3, I'll take it. If it happens before E3, I'll take it. But it will happen. Something will be shown to us at E3 guaranteed. Like, even if we don't get an announcement up until E3, we'll still see something at E3. That's guaranteed. It's impossible that we wouldn't see anything there, guys. So I won't just go through that, guys. But yeah, again, shout out to Nintendo Life for compiling this. I will, of course, link this down below if you guys want to do more in-depth research on this. But in general, though, we don't really know much. In all honesty, we don't really know anything. We are just speculating. That's the kind of point of all this stuff. We're trying to keep the hype going, or at least our internal hype going for as long as possible, so that we can at least, you know, just keep the joy there before things just hit the fan when we get the announcement. That's what we're waiting for. That's what we're excited for. I really want to see what's going to happen with Pokemon in the narrow future and where Pokemon Switch is going to, you know, actually be revealed and what it's going to be like. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think about all this? And sorry for making this video longer than expected. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you are brand new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. If you want to check out the music I've been using, right here you got it. Relaxing Pokemon music compilation. Love these. Guys, you always ask me, like, what music is it you're listening to? And here it is, guys. Check it out. It's going to be linked down below as well, the music. I forgot to, you know, link it in previous videos, but you can definitely check it out there, guys. Either way, thank you so much for watching. My name is Rumours. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.